Assalamualaikum and hi to all our viewers and audience. I am Landslides and Fatin Ratika will be your host for today. So today we'll be discussing about two topics which are dynamic ecosystem and endangered ecosystem. So now we are in College PERMATApintar UKM Bangi Selangor. And for today our audience are PERMATApintar students. Cerato PoKeTree studio prepared a video that explains everything about dynamic ecosystem and also endangered ecosystem. So now, let the video begin.
Soil erosion is a thinning of the soil layer due to the removal of the surface soil by the agents of erosion such as wind, water flow, and uncontrolled human and animal activities. Overgrazing occurs when plants are exposed to intensive grazing for extended periods of time or without sufficient recovery periods. It can be caused by other livestock, such as cow, or by overpopulations of native or non-native wild animals. Overgrazing by livestock does not permit grass to grow back and exposes the land to agents of erosion. With the vegetation, which is trees and grass, removed, the topsoil is exposed to the elements rain and wind. The thin layer of topsoil is easily eroded by flowing waters. Soil erosion.
A flash flood is a sudden and rapid flood of low-lying areas, rivers and streams that is caused by a thunderstorm. Causes of flash floods: poor drainage system, rubbish clogging the drainage system, sedimentation of rivers due to deforestation. Flash floods bring suffering and misery to the local community with the possible loss of lives and property.
Telefon sekali tak nak?
A flash flood occurs when rainwater that is not absorbed into the ground fast enough causes surface runoff, rainwater not absorbed by soil. The surface runoff accumulates and flows rapidly downhill, flooding everything in its path and low-lying areas.
Help me, I'm drowning.
A landslide is a sudden fall of rocks and earth down a hill slope. Landslide may be caused by mining activities, heavy rains on a denuded hill slopes, unstable construction
Projects
on hill slopes, and earthquakes. Heavy and
prolonged raining
over steep hill slopes may lead to the accumulation of soil water, which subsequently cause a large amount of earth to slide downhill. Landslides may cause a loss of life and property
disruptions
to the
road transport
system.
Deforestation is the permanent removal of trees from forests. The purposes of deforestation are commercial logging, shifting cultivation for more agricultural and commercial land, construction of roads and housing, and for other human development activities. According to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, an average of 80 million acres of forests worldwide were lost annually between 2001 and 2005. Climatic change, the loss of biodiversity, extinction. Deforestation causes soil erosion, flash floods, landslides, global warming. To control deforestation, planting new trees and restoring degraded land, adopting and enforcing stricter laws, educating people on the importance of forests.
Pollution. Pollution is defined as any undesirable change in the biological, chemical, or physical characteristics of our natural environment caused by the release of harmful substances. Pollution has caused changes to the environment because of irresponsible human activities. Pollution can be classed into 4 types as follows: air pollution, water pollution, thermal pollution, and noise pollution.
Thermal pollution is the release of excess heat into the environment. Thermal pollution occurs when used air or water coolant is returned to its environment at a higher temperature than it was before.
Assalamualaikum Encik.
Malam.
Encik tengah buat apa ni?
Makcik tengah makan kerepek yang tak habis ni jual.
Panas makcik?
Tak, macam rasa kampung ni makin panas lah.
Kenapa makcik?
Tak tahulah kenapa. Susah.
Oh,
Tengok ni.
sebab kilang yang atas tu kan? Betul.
Banyak asap. Asap yang tak bagus. Makcik ni
Sungguh.
tak sekolah. Tapi makcik tahulah asap tu tak bagus.
Betul.
Kan? Anak makcik belajar lah. Makcik tak. Tengok ni, kepek ni tak habis jual. Tak jual kepek pun susah. Panas sangat.
Oh, sampai kena makan lah makcik.
Tak macam mana nak makan. Nak makan pula. Nak meneruskan hidup.
Terima kasih makcik. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
This upsets biological systems and endangers lives. Sources of thermal pollution are factories, nuclear reactors, electric power stations, and tall glass buildings. Water has a high heat capacity. That is, water can absorb a big amount of heat with a minimum rise in temperature. Water is therefore used as a cooling medium. Many factories, electric power stations, and nuclear reactors are built near rivers or lakes to facilitate the supply of water as a cooling medium for the machines. The river or lake water is recycled through a cooling condenser system and channeled back to the river or lake, thereby raising the temperature of the aquatic environment. This causes the average temperature of water to rise above its normal value. Heat affects aquatic life in these ways. Every living organism has a temperature range of tolerance for survival. The change in temperature of the water can therefore cause a change in composition of the species living in a habitat. The rise in temperature of the environment raises the metabolic rates of the aquatic animals and upsets their biochemical processes. A rise in temperature of as much as 5 degrees Celsius above the normal water temperature can be fatal for the aquatic animals.
Water pollution. Water is a universal solvent because many types of chemical substances can dissolve in it. The characteristics of water as a solvent make it easy to be polluted. Water pollution is mostly caused by the indiscriminate disposal of domestic, industrial, and agricultural waste.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Makcik,
Ya?
makcik tengah buat apa ni makcik?
Makcik tengah bersihkan longkang.
Kenapa makcik bersihkan longkang ni seorang-seorang?
Yelah, anak makcik tu suka main longkang.
Memang longkang sini kotor-kotor makcik?
Bukan setakat longkang. Jadi, tu sungai kat belakang bukit sana tu pun kotor sangat dah.
Sources of water pollution. Domestic source. Domestic pollutants. Houses in urban and rural areas may dispose of rubbish and sewage indiscriminately by dumping them into drains and rivers, which will eventually reach the sea. Industrial source. Factories that produce consumer goods, chemicals, paints, metals may use the river to dispose of their liquid waste or suspensions. Air
Pasar malam sudah pukul 5. Nyonya bangun pagi, siram pokok bunga. Hai! Pokok bunga melu. Hai! Hai! Mak, dekat ada kuda!
Adik-adik memang suka longkang ke?
Haa. Longkang ni nampak menarik.
Longkang ada katak, ada berudu.
Baru-baru ni kotor ke bersih?
Baru-baru ni bersih tapi dah kotor.
Oh, sejak
Mak
bila?
selalu bersihkan. Bagus. Mak sayang longkang.
Sejak bila longkang ni dia kotor?
Kami lahir kat longkang.
Adik, sejak bila longkang ni jadi kotor?
Sejak beberapa hari yang lalu.
Oh, sejak kilang tu lah.
Haa. Gila yang baru. Tak tahulah kenapa. Okay. Kami.
Saya nak main
tu. Tak boleh mandi dalam
Okay,
ni.
elok-elok adik. Bye.
Bye. Oh, harapan makcik lah kan. Makcik harap pihak berkuasa dapat ambil tindakan lah supaya sungai-sungai tu dapat dibersihkan balik. Jadi barang-barang buangan daripada kilang tu dapat dikawal supaya tak banyak sangat yang keluar dekat sungai.
Eutrophication is the process whereby a body of water, as in ponds or lakes, becomes rich in dissolved nutrients, as in nitrates or phosphates, either naturally or due to human activities. This encourages the high rates of growth of algae and blue-green bacteria. The resulting population explosion is called an algal boom. The algae can increase in numbers to such an extent that they form a thick scum on the surface of water and prevent sunlight from reaching the bottom of the water. Algae and aquatic plants at the bottom of water cannot photosynthesize and they die. The decomposition of the dead organic matter by bacteria will raise their BOD and reduce the oxygen content of the water there. Aerobic plants at the bottom of the water with low oxygen content suffocate and die. Some causes of eutrophication are overuse of inorganic fertilizer, runoff of manure from farms, discharge of untreated and treated sewage, runoff and erosion from cultivated land.
Anaconda don't, my anaconda don't.
Kat bandar dia
Tak dengar lah, tak dengar.
evolution kat bandar dia disebabkan oleh banyak kereta-kereta yang biasanya mengeluarkan carbon dioxide dan sebagainya dan kilang-kilang yang kuat sikit kilang yang ada kat bandar tu dia tak ada habis. Lepas tu apa yang akibat dia paru-paru orang dekat kawasan tu dah senang kena kanser. Lepas tu
bronkitis lah, dia kena bronkitis. Dengar tak? Lagi apa lagi ya? Tak tahu lah.
Terima kasih.
Sources of air pollution due to human activities are motor vehicles. Motor vehicles such as cars, motorcycles, lorries, aeroplanes, ships, and trains. Industry. In the industrial sector, electric power stations and factories, for example cement, wood, chemical, iron, and others, use diesel and discharge many types of pollutants into the atmosphere.
Noise pollution. Noise pollution takes place when the noise of the surroundings become excessive and disturbs the comfort of living. Sources of noise pollution are from aeroplanes, trains, construction works, wheels and factory machines, vehicles along the roads. The noise intensity is measured in decibel units that represents the rate of sound energy passing through a unit area.
The greenhouse effect. Most of the solar radiation that reaches the Earth is visible light, short wavelength, which passes through atmospheric gases to reach the surface of the Earth.
The surface of the Earth absorbs the solar energy and re-radiates it back into the atmosphere as infrared radiation, heat, some of which escapes into outer space.
Some of this re-radiated infrared radiation in the atmosphere is absorbed by greenhouse gases. For example, carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor and nitrous oxide, which subsequently increase in temperature.
After having absorbed the infrared radiation, these greenhouse gases themselves also re-radiate infrared radiation to their surroundings and warming nearby greenhouse gases and also re-radiating some back to the surface of the Earth.
These greenhouse gases in the atmosphere act like the glass panels of the greenhouse, which permit visible light to pass through but absorb and re-radiate infrared radiation.
This absorption of the infrared radiation by greenhouse gases and its subsequent radiation by greenhouse gases create a blanket which warms up the atmosphere of the Earth, and this is called the greenhouse effect.
The greenhouse effect is natural and it actually helps to regulate the long-term average temperature of the Earth.
Without the greenhouse effect, Earth would be too cold to sustain life.
But over the last 40 years, the Earth's average temperature has been on a rising trend, causing a global warming.
This global warming is caused by an increase in the greenhouse gases of the atmosphere, resulting in more heat retention in the atmosphere instead of escaping into outer space.
Human activities and natural causes both have contributed to an increase in atmospheric greenhouse gases.
Hello Malaysia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good evening. I am Adam Muhammad from PoKeTree channel. Now we are at the Permata World Trade Center for the United Nations Conference on Global Warming. We shall now move on to the location of the conference to get further details. Currently, we are at the outside of the conference center. Now, we will be heading inside to get a live footage of the event. So these are the delegates of the United Nations.
Good evening to all delegates. Today we would like to discuss on the solutions of global warming. So the chair would like to yield the floor to all delegates to speak up.
The delegate of Germany, you are recognized.
Good evening, the delegate of Germany would like to suggest unnecessary deforestation for farming and other development projects need to be controlled and minimized.
Thank you to the delegate of Germany. The delegate of Argentina, you are recognized.
Good evening. The delegates of Argentina would like to suggest the further development of cleaner energy. The use of cleaner energy like solar energy, wind energy, wave energy, and hydroelectric energy, which do not emit greenhouse gases, need further development.
Thank you to the delegate of Argentina. The delegate of Japan, you are recognized.
The delegate of Japan would like to suggest that all countries limit and reduce the emission of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, a condition called the Kyoto Protocol.
Thank you to the delegate of Japan. The delegate of Malaysia, you are recognized.
Good evening. The delegate of Malaysia would like to suggest more trees need to be replanted in order to absorb and remove more free carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Thank you.
Thank you to the delegate of Malaysia. The delegate of Uzbekistan, you are recognized.
This delegate of Uzbekistan suggests that all nations should reduce the production and the use of fossil fuels.
Thank you to the delegate of Uzbekistan. The delegate of Russia, you are recognized.
The delegate of Russia would like to suggest a solution, which is, as an individual, we can do our part to reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases by walking, cycling, or using public transport instead of using our own motorized vehicles. Thank you.
Thank you to the delegate of Russia.
So all delegates have agreed to a final draft resolution, and the chair hopes that all nations would work together to create a better place. With that, thank you to all delegates.
Ozone, O3, is one form of oxygen that is present in very small quantities in the atmosphere. The ozone layer is formed when oxygen reacts with ultraviolet radiation of sunlight. The ozone concentration is at its maximum in the stratosphere layer, about 20 to 40 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. Ozone acts as a natural shield that protects the surface of the Earth from the sun's ultraviolet radiation.
Ozone also influences processes of the atmosphere that controls the weather of the world. Excess exposure of ultraviolet radiation can cause skin cancer, cataract, and kill the aquatic organism which is the food for fish.
It was 20 years ago when scientists first discovered the thinning of ozone layer.
An ozone hole, the thin part of the ozone layer, as big as the size of the United States, have been detected in the stratosphere of the Antarctica. The thinning of the ozone layer has been detected in the stratosphere of the United States and in Europe. The thinning of the ozone layer arises from the increasing use of chlorofluorocarbon, or CFC.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good evening to everybody. I am standing here today to explain about CFCs and its effect on ozone layers. CFC has been widely used as refrigerants, propellants in aerosol application, and also solvents. The CFC have higher boiling points because the chloride test is even more polarizable than fluoride. Because of their polarity, CFCs are useful solvents, and their boiling points makes them as good refrigerants. Furthermore, CFC is less flammable than methane. Okay, right now I'm going to show you how CFC affects our ozone layer. This is the structure of the chlorofluorocarbon. When the UV ray hits the molecule, one of the chlorine atom is now free, and when it's free, it will find a new atom. And now it will make the chlorine oxide and also oxygen from the ozone layer and free chlorine atom. And when one oxygen atom hits the chlorine oxide, it will create another oxygen and a free chlorine atom, and then the chlorine atom will repeat the process. And all this process will eventually deplete the ozone layer in the upper atmosphere and will cause the ultraviolet ray to penetrate Earth's atmosphere. I hope you understand. Thank you.
Where's my food?
I am low on stomata and chlorophyll. How am I going to eat? Curse you, humans.
The increase in population has placed a great demand on the ecosystem in terms of food, housing, and public facilities. So, to fulfill the needs of the population, development has to go on to provide the basic necessities and also to improve the quality of life. In trying to fulfill the growing community's needs, many development projects are implemented. There are unplanned developmental projects which will upset the balance of the ecosystem. The effects of the population increase on the ecosystem are the destruction of natural habitats when land is opened up for agriculture or housing, pollution of the environment, water, air, and land, extinction of animal and plant species. Land losing its fertility.
In order to maintain the balance of nature, guiding principle in the management of economic development and the management of a sustainable ecosystem should be taken. By law, the Malaysian government has a system of law that is enough to achieve the objective of conservation of the environment.
Jiban Ram Pillay, anak lelaki Jimmy Pillay. Anda dijatuhi hukuman penjara selama 5 tahun dan denda sebanyak RM500,000 di bawah Akta Kualiti Akta Sekeliling 1974 kerana didapati bersalah menumpahkan minyak ke dalam perairan Malaysia.
By use of technology. Modern technology is used to clean oil spill at sea using oil spill expensive boom and chemical. Recycle rubbish such as glass materials, plastic, metal and paper. Produce biogas from organic rubbish through the activity of decaying microorganisms. Carry out research to look for methods to safely recycle material from industrial waste. Treat toxic and dangerous waste disposal from factories to the air or water. Enable motor vehicle to use fuels that are less polluting to the environment such as unleaded petrol and natural gas.
By education, the third Malaysian plan stressed the need for environmental education to be introduced into the education system to balance the national economic development. Presently, environmental education is integrated into the school curriculum. Environmental education is aimed at producing a generation of world citizens conscious of and tackling the problems related to the environment seriously and being knowledgeable, skillful and motivated with confidence to work as individuals and groups to solve the present problems and prevent new problems.
Okay, guys, let's do some PoKeTree. Today I will be teaching about 4 R's. So the first one is reuse. The second one? Reuse. Then? Recycle. Lastly? Reuse. Okay, good. Okay, reuse is. Reuse is? Reuse is use things such as plastic containers and bottles again for other purposes instead of throwing them away. Okay, this is the example of reuse. From mineral water to recycle. Okay, next reduce. Who wants to explain reduce? Okay, Razi.
Reuse is the use of materials, especially the unrecyclable materials.
Okay, good. So we can reduce the use of non-biodegradable plastic bags to paper bags. That is biodegradable. Okay. Next, recycle. Yes, Nana.
Recycling means collecting and segregating materials according to the type of materials and turning these waste into new products.
Okay, these are the materials that can be recycled. Paper, aluminium can and plastic. So you know the recycle bins?
Yes.
So okay. The blue one is for paper, brown is for aluminium can, and the orange one is for plastic.
Wow, amazing.
Wow, yes, I know, right? Okay, lastly, recover. Okay, me.
Okay, recover means to harness the heat energy from combustion to generate electrical energy.
Okay, so from the incineration in plants, we can use it to generate electricity. Good. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Bye bye.
Teacher, you forgot about Mutazah.
Cikgu jahat. Cikgu lupakan aku.
Sorry Ustazah, for supporting you. Okay, so what are the importance of recycling? Can you give one of those?
So when we reduce and recycle those materials, we can reduce the need for natural minerals, so we can destroy less of our environment.
Okay, good, Ustazah. Give a big clap for yourself. So this is the real end. So let us meet next week. Okay, bye.
By preservation and conservation of the land, forests and mangrove areas, the Earth's natural resources are limited. Preservation and conservation is aimed at ensuring that habitats, fauna and flora, natural resources and the balance of nature continue to perpetuate with minimum impact from human activities. The Department of Forests and the Department of Protection of Wildlife and National Park play an important role to preserve and conserve the forests of Asia.
By biological control. Biological control is a method of controlling pests by using predation, parasitism or other natural mechanisms. This method avoids the use of pesticides, thus preventing pesticides from entering the human food chain. Examples of biological control: the use of the guppy fish to eliminate mosquito larvae, using owls and anacondas to catch and feed on rats in all home estates.
By use of renewable energy and the efficient use of energy. Burning fossil fuels such as petroleum and coal will pollute the environment. Therefore, the use of fossil fuels has to be minimized so that the environmental pollution can be reduced. The use of renewable energy sources such as solar energy and hydroelectric energy, which are more friendly to the environment, should be encouraged. The rise in the efficient use of energy through new technology can reduce the pollutants introduced into the environment.
By maintaining plant and animal species of the environment. Efforts must be directed to maintain the plant and animal species of the environment. Extensive deforestation will destroy the habitats of plants and wildlife permanently. So, plants and animal species need to be conserved, and through the enactment of laws to protect them, controlling logging activities, declaring some forests to be forest reserves, or converting them to forest parks.
Oi! Jatuhkan senjata anda! Kamu tahu tak di hutan apa? Hutan simpan, tuan. Kalau hutan simpan maknanya tak boleh tembak-menembak, tuan. Betul. Jatuhkan senjata anda sekarang. Kamu berdua ditahan kerana cubaan menembak di hutan simpan. Ya, tuan, kami mengaku bersalah, tuan.
Everyone has a role to play in the maintenance of a sustainable ecosystem. We can fulfill this role by refraining from habits that might harm our surroundings.
This is wrong. We should not litter rubbish all over the place. We should educate people on cleanliness of public places. Dustbins should be placed on strategic places for rubbish removal.
Humans sometimes consciously or unconsciously commit daily activities that harm our surroundings, and it's our responsibilities to correct them.
Stop! No open burning. Law is needed to prevent from open burning of rubbish, and people should be taught that open burning is dangerous to our earth. So, that is the end of our video. Did you understand? Hope you guys will understand this week's topic. Stay tuned for more Cerato PoKeTree Studio.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat sejahtera. Saya di sini di Kolej PERMATApintar Negara. Di belakang saya ini terdapat satu pertarungan sengit antara pasukan baju berwarna hitam biru dan juga baju kuning dan juga seorang perempuan tersesat. Jadi itu dah mereka lawan. Baju kuning itu. Wah, kadang mereka menari. Wah, sungguh hebat sekali. Terdapat satu pertarungan yang saya lah orangnya. Start.
Adam bayi dia.
Ada apa?
Lesson.
Bayi. Ada.
Apa? Tak dengar lah. Cakap lah.
Evolution.
Makcik ni tengah bersihkan longkang. Anak-anak makcik ni suka main longkang.
Kenapa makcik seorang yang bersihkan longkang?
Memang.